Okay, hopefully I can get this all to work. Okay, this is my Disneyland gingerbread cookie, the big soft gingerbread cookie recipe. Last year was my first time having them, and it blew my mind. And I'm not even a big gingerbread fan, but they were so good. So I went through a whole bunch of everybody's Copycat recipes, Disneyland's recipe. They have one listed somewhere, but that's for like a crunchy one. Most people's are for crunchy, and I wanted the chewy, flaky one. This is as close as I can get. They're really good. Hopefully, I'm gonna put this recipe in like the description, but I think I'm gonna put it on a YouTube channel. We'll see. So I'll have it linked if it's in a YouTube channel. But so to get us started, a few things. My friend made me these super cute with a 3D printer. They're like the Mickey and Minnie gingerbread cookie cutters. Super cute, but most of them I'll probably be doing this because they'll be easier to decorate. There's the Disney contest, I think, that I shared their post from the Shop Disney a couple days ago, and I'll talk about that too. But some weird ingredients, at least I thought that they were weird. The one recipe I found that did have this in it, it called for Ground Mase, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I did find anise extract. So this has a black licorice flavor. So if you don't like black licorice, leave it out. If you like it, you're okay with it, do the 1/8 teaspoon, I think it is. If you do like black licorice, go ahead and do a 1/4 of a teaspoon. It's not gonna change anything. The other thing that I had never used before was mace, and this is like almost a, I don't even know. It has a really kind of soury taste flavor to it. I almost wonder if maybe you could do one or the other. That's kind of close. But those are the two weird things. So I've got my butter in here, and it's 12 tablespoons of butter and 3/4 cup of brown sugar. And I'm gonna mix those until they're blended, and then I'm gonna add in my egg. So my original recipe had some milk in it, and to try and get it into like a more fluffier, creamy cookie, crumbly cookie, I'm doing an egg instead of the milk. So I've got, so it was 2 tablespoons. So I'm going with medium eggs to kind of even out the liquid content in the recipe. I have all of my dry ingredients in here, which will all be listed, and then the molasses. So I'm gonna cream this, I'm gonna add the egg, and then I'll add these two until they're blended, and then we'll come back. Okay. Okay, so I got the butter and the sugar creamed, and then I added in the egg, make sure those were mixed well together. Then I added the anise, and then the molasses, so 3/4 cup of molasses. And so once that's blended, I kind of have a mess of molasses in my bowl here. And I have all of my dry ingredients all together, separate. I didn't even mix them together, and then I'm going to I'm gonna switch from my whisk to my paddle, just because it is a pretty solid dough, and I think okay, get as much off of that as you can. And then I have this paddle. I love it because it actually scrapes the side and makes less scraping for me. I goobered it up right there. Give that a little mix because I have molasses on the sides, and this will scrape the molasses down more into the mixture. And gets the bottom better as well. The other thing that you will need a rolling pin, and then for rolling out your dough, parchment paper. And I buy the pre-cut stuff. And so you can get 2 pieces and you roll it in between the 2. And don't preheat your oven yet, because we're gonna put once we get them cut, and depending on how warm our dough is, which I'm over mixing now, we're gonna put it into the fridge or freezer for a few minutes to let it kind of firm back up before we put it in the oven. So we'll put it in the fridge and freezer, and then we'll preheat our oven. And when our oven's ready, then we'll just pop it right in. Okay, it's gonna look really dry. Let it keep going a few more spins and it'll start to pull together. Now we're gonna plop it onto our parchment and roll it out, and we wanna roll it to about 1/4 inch thickness. A little bigger than 1/4 inch, but not 3/4. Okay, so now we're rolling. So I've just taken a big old chunk. I've got my parchment paper, and I don't know what the trick is to make this stick to your countertop, but I just use my belly. So I'll stick a big old chunk on there, and then I just overlap just a tiny bit, and I'll push on it with my hips. And then roll until it's about 1/4 inch, a hair more, but don't go to 3/4. You'll end up with a raw cookie, only 2 done on the sides and all that good stuff. So, oh, it's pretty. So yeah, about there. Do as much as you can, obviously. And I love it when they come out on your cookie dough or on your cookie cutter. And then you can either wait and fill up your cookie sheet, just lay them on there, give them a little bit of shape, and then pop them in the freezer. Start to preheat your oven now to 350. Put these in the freezer while it preheats, and then as soon as your oven's hot, just put this right in, 8 to 10 minutes. Just kind of fill the center. If it feels doughy, soft, super soft, go for another minute, minute and a half, and check them again. All depends on your thickness, your oven, if you need to rotate your cookies, all that good stuff. But yeah. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. I've got one iced. Okay, so I've made the glaze, and this is like a cup of powdered sugar, like 1/4 of a teaspoon of Karo syrup, and like 2 tablespoons of milk. You want it fairly thin because you want it to dry mostly clear, and you're just gonna use like a silicone little brush and go all over the top. So this just helps to kind of sweeten it up. And these are yesterday's batch. So you can see how they kind of flattened out just a little bit. I'm gonna spread a really thin layer on the top. Try and keep it from any like thick spots. But this is what everybody leaves off of their recipe. Nobody puts the glaze on it, and everyone thinks I'm crazy. No, they don't. But then when they look at the one from Disneyland, it does have a little glaze on it. So, I've got one done. And I've melted my chocolate. Just got it sitting here in a warm water to keep it from hardening up. I didn't get it too much. So, and hopefully you can see. If it gets too warm, just kind of like to where it's too liquidy, just kind of leave it on your counter for a minute to cool off just a little bit. And that'll start to stiffen back up. Because if it's too thin, it won't stop coming out of your bag. So this is the cheat way, just using a baggie, or you can use a piping bag. But yeah, melted chocolate is, you gotta work with it fairly quick. So you want just a teeny, teeny, tiny hole. Just kind of get it all to that corner. And it's not pretty, that's for sure. I'm going more for flavor here. You can use any kind, any color. I did some pumpkins because I just was ready for gingerbread. I did some pumpkins with this recipe. I used orange chocolate icing instead. So here you go. It's a really nice, should be a soft cookie, yummy gingerbread taste. And the chocolate and the glaze on their top are really just to kind of sweeten it up. It's so yummy. Hey, so I hope you guys have luck with it. Comment and let me know if you do try it. If you've ever tried the Disneyland one, it's just one of those super yummy, yummy things. Okay, so see the difference? I put a little bit more milk in the glaze after I did this one because this one's pretty white and this one is dried pretty clear. So, or will dry a little clearer.